special person with us, and he is none other than Dr. Alfredo. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for having us. So we will be having amazing conversations, and of course, I have my dear friend Jen here as well with us, Jennifer, as we all know. Yeah, so here are some of the questions that maybe you and I have that we've always wanted to ask, but didn't really have the courage or the time, to ask those questions, right? So let's start with Dr. Alfredo. First and foremost, thank you very much for your time again.
Thank you.
When I was here last week, we were sitting right across, and we had all these conversations about life and about spirituality and consciousness and the community as a whole. I really loved what you said, which struck a chord with me when you said something about interdependence, how we should go to its collectivity. Could you share something more about it, because that was really beautiful?
I think in the world today, most is driven by individuality. The I, me. This was okay when the world was very small. Like when I was a young kid, the world had 1 billion people. Today we have 7 billion people. So that sheer fact tells us that there are many, many people in the world. So I can look at the window and I see 1,000 houses. So we are not an island anymore, So the question is whether the value system is driving us to understand us as a collective and not as a me. So to go from me to we is a huge step, because people don't trust, because people have fears. So if we have a plate here and we have 100 people, and I take a piece, all will take a piece, because then they think that I'm going to eat everything. Yeah. So I better eat too. So this simple way of presenting it demands a huge effort to embed, to self-realize collective values. Compassion, love, caring, sharing, equity, justice, cooperation, solidarity, and most important of all, interdependence. The interdependence in the sense that it's a state of being. It's not a thing. Interdependence is the self-realization that I cannot walk in this planet without you, and you cannot walk without me.
Well, that's beautiful.
So the mantra today is not only I consciousness, it's we consciousness. So the mantra is I am because you are, and you are because I am. And this is the thing that keeps us together. But when I say we, I'm saying not only human beings, I'm saying nature, sentient beings, animals, birds, trees, flowers. So the question for you is whether you can imagine a world without trees, a world without animals, a world without flowers. It's not an issue of beauty only. It's not an issue of sentimental nature. It is an issue that without them I am not. This is essential. I mean, for people who know the Bible, for example, the story of the Ark of Noah. The Ark of Noah was one family, but all the animals. You have to bring the male and female elephant and the cow and the bull and the pig and the piggy and so on. Why? For me, it's a symbol, because I'm not religious, but it's a good symbol to say that it's a precondition to our existence, nature. And also, to add a little bit, is that this also requires a huge change in what I call the theory of differential intelligence. This is what is invading us. You are more intelligent than animals. Human beings believe that they are more intelligent than animals. And the problem is that in the Aristotelian philosophy, Aristoteles, the inferior is submitted to the superior. So the superior, in principle, can do anything about the so-called inferior. But this is not true. This is an error of the intellect. This is an error of our consciousness. We still don't have the sensitivity to see that all we are here, all of this is an exchange of intelligence. It's an exchange of life. There is nothing that doesn't have life. And that means that if you still believe that you are more intelligent than nature, then you should not drink a carrot juice. Because in essence, the real exchange between the carrot juice and myself is at the ultramolecular level. It's the most subtle level of existence. And there, the exchange is not the juice as we see it, it's intelligence. So if I am drinking carrot all the time, I will finally get the intelligence of the carrot. You know, and if I think that is inferior, I will be inferior. But it's not like that. And I'm not giving you a scientific evidence. This comes from my meditative experience. You know, where you enter and you said, oh, wow. You know, and so the answer is we're moving now into a different world, and you, the youth, have a tremendous responsibility to grab it, because otherwise our generation, my generation, will continue destroying it. How do you grab it? You need to be sensitive, conscious of someone else's consciousness. In other words, the flower I cannot see the flower unless the flower is seeing me. You know, it's a mutual relationship. So my relationship with you is mutual. The relation with you is mutual. It's simultaneous. I cannot see you if you're not seeing me. Understand? The same thing with nature. Yeah. So the young generation will have to really take the leadership in moving from individualistic materialism into collective spirituality. Yeah. That is the real challenge. You know, individual materialism, like now, to have, to do, to know. To have, to do, to know. I want to know, to have. Yeah. And in order to have, I do. Yeah. That is the rule of now, but this is not the rule of the future. The rule of the future is not to know, to have, you know, is to be and become. And you will have to exercise that leadership. Yeah. Otherwise, we are forcing this individuality in you, the me, and you have the youth completely unorganized, you know, going in many different directions, with no leadership of the 21st century. And that's the challenge.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think the world that we live in today, we have so many issues, so many things that we're dealing with. Climate change, yes, we talk about development. How do we have a sustainable life, you know, on Earth in itself? So definitely, like, some of the things that you shared, I thought, like, that's very beautiful. Instead of saying I, instead of saying you, like, instead of that, now when we go to we collectively on a bigger picture, yes, correct. You know, we go somewhere. And I also remember this one thing that you shared in our conversation last week, and I thought it was beautiful. It does not matter where we are in which country we are physically. We're all living on the same earth. Yes, it does not matter, right? Which passports we hold, where we are, like, it's the same earth, and it's our world, our nature, our resources. Yes. So what you said, it definitely is a challenge, and I hope that youths like ourselves can really, you know, embrace that collectivism that you spoke about.
Together.
Yeah, together.
Together. Mm-hmm. I give you one example. It is impossible to be healthy when the nature is ill. Yeah. It's not possible. If it's polluted outside, it's polluted inside. Yeah. The air that I breathe, if it is polluted, I pollute myself. The water, we are 70% water. So if the water is polluted outside, our bloodstream, by definition, is polluted inside, because water is alive. Water is not dead. So water talks to my body, you know? Rain, bath, everything. So the same thing with the earth. The earth is my bones. You know, if the earth is contaminated with pesticides, herbicides, agrochemicals, you know, GMO seeds, and so on and so forth, then my bones begins. So what's the result now for the youth? In my country, we are finding out that cancer is not attacking people of my age much. It's attacking young generation from 35 to 45.
I did not know that.
You know, so you will have to say, wait, let's heal the planet. Let's, you know, and so many people will come back to you and say, that's very beautiful. They told me, they have been telling me this for 55 years, but anyways. But they also, the people who are in the system, that means power, they say, well, but if we do this, then we're not going to grow. We're not going to employ people, you know, because the idea that people have is that we who are sitting here and all the youth that is listening is that we are foreclosing the earth, that we are not allowing activity, and that's not true. So when I was a candidate to the presidency of Chile, I said, no, what I'm asking is a different form of growth. That is to say, we're going to grow, for example, with a world plan to clean all bodies of water. Can you imagine that we get an agreement that all the youth in the world, they decide to say, we in Chile, Nepal, United States, Singapore, France, Malaysia, all of us are going to clean our waters. Huge employment, because there are factories, industries that will have to do it. I am not an expert on what are the chemicals to do this or how to do it. So it's a different way to handle the world. The tendency now is to go from an exploitation, extraction, to conservation. This is a second element for you to really say, what does it mean? So conservation will have to become the economics of the future, not the exploitation. Take oil, copper, tin, bauxite, whatever. And we have this world with mountains of plastic bags, you know, like the US is more than 20,000 tons a year polluting the ocean. And then the whales that come to Chile sometimes die on the beach because the whales is everyone, you know. And then they cut them out to see why they died. And it's full of plastic, you know. So this is very important to be understood. The next generation, you, the leaders, you will have to get a different form of governance in the world. You know, there is a global organization. The United Nations is not a global organization. The United Nations has countries, 190 some countries. The countries defend their own interest, like the US, no more climate change agreement. You don't like it, I take the money from UNESCO. You know, it's difficult. So the World Bank is not a global bank. When you become global is when you have a global vision, you know, and this vision is not there. It's a world vision, which has an economic and an institutional connotation, because the world is countries, but not a global. So I'm looking forward to accompany the youth in this change, but only with new consciousness, please.
So what you brought up was really interesting. You know, the fact that you can think of global movements or connectivity around the world, and if you look at, for example, nature, animals, the example of whales, right? They go through the oceans of the world, right? They don't understand sovereign state lines and territories, right? They are just a single, type of animal, right? They are practice, and then they inhabit the world in the way that they do. Whereas when you think about people, of course, like you said, we have identities that are split into sovereign states and nations, and we have our own individual identities and interests tied to that. So if you are to think about solving problems through an interconnectedness, do we need to get rid of those identities, or can we still work with them? Because they do imply an interest to a specific group that separates us.
Correct,
right?
correct. This is a phenomenal question. It's a phenomenal question because in 1680, there was the Treaty of Westphalia. And in the Treaty of Westphalia, the center of the treaty is the nation state, that we will have boundaries. For the first time, there was an agreement that France is this, the US is this, Canada is this, da 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 da. But if you look at the world as a mandala, as a sacred image, a geometric, sacred geometry, what that did is to put the energy in the boundaries. So we buy weapons and we defend the borders of the country. In the US, the wall. In China, there was a wall. In Eastern Europe, there was another wall. So somehow, this Treaty of Westphalia of nation states, that I have the right to decide who enters, who exits, and so on, put the energy of the mandala of the countries and the world into the borders. In Buddhism, in Hinduism, and in many, many spiritual, paths, the movement is to put the force at the center of the mandala. So if you see this tanka, the center is the deity, is the Buddha. So you are always thinking at the center. There was a time when people said the king is God, So he was at the center. Good king, bad king, I don't know. But the idea was that you strengthen nations, not through borders, but to the core, culture, ethnicity, and so on. Now, I work in Africa, and elephants don't see borders, like you say. So elephants go from South Africa to Mozambique, for example. So we did a project on an elephant corridor. What happened to the elephant? The elephant doesn't know that this is your land. So the elephant crossed and the guy killed the elephant because the elephant goes through his crops. He's very poor, and so the elephant, he sees the elephant as a distractor. But the elephant is crossing that path for many centuries, for many years, So how do we do this? So this is what you will have to face. How to manage the global commons. Oceans, you mentioned oceans. Water, climate, ozone layer, biodiversity, forest, natural forest, and also culture, ethnicity. These are part of the global commons. So I think you need to wake up now. That we, our generation, accelerated individualism. You will have to find a new form of welfare of yourself, a new definition of transformation, a new definition of development, a new definition of this totality. So in my view, the question that you posed about the ocean and the whales not knowing where the boundaries are is now happening on everything. Not only animals. If you have a disease in Asia, it goes all the way to Chile. So the world has become very small. So some people say the world now is not round, it's flat. You just can't go everywhere. It's a way to say this. But is the youth prepared to really run for this big change? Now, what am I seeing is that the youth are very active, but when they finally want to exercise leadership, they go back to the institutional arrangement of the past. the occupies in the United States.
Right.
You know, in Chile there are many movements. Young people are fantastic, like here and everywhere. But if they want to accept power, they run for parliamentarian. You know what I mean? They create a political party, like in the US, in Europe, in Spain, you know.
Right.
Well, then you enter into the game of politics, which is the game of our generation. And many things get lost on the way. So we need to think about an institutional arrangement really embedded in the youth that responds to the way you think, that responds to your vision. Otherwise, without institutional arrangement, we cannot protect the ocean, we cannot protect the world, and so on. You know, the COP25, you know, the climate change, you know, agreement. US said goodbye. COP25 is in Chile next year. Will the US come or doesn't come? The US pollutes 35% of the CO2 of the world. And this is not a criticism, this is just awareness. Just awareness. So when you have a leader who says, I'm going to do by myself, I don't criticize him. I said, is it possible? And my answer always comes, it's not possible. Chile, Nepal cannot live without the US, but the US also cannot live without Nepal and Chile. It's impossible. When you become the big leader of the US and you, Nepal, there will be probably 10 to 12 billion people in the planet. So what are you going to do? How do we prepare?
I mean, first off, phenomenal question. I think that has been on our minds at some point in time, you know, and what you shared, about going back to our center, right? And every time when I hear the word center, when I say going back to the center, I mean, as a whole, like, you know, it's massive. I don't know even where to start. It's phenomenal, right? This world that we live in, this universe, those issues or challenges, things that are going on. But when I think of myself, which right now, which I can do, and I say my center, and I feel like it's a journey to the center of my heart. And that's my center. And when I think of my center, my heart, I think of compassion. Yes? So I think I think about if we had more compassion, would it help? Would it be better? Yes? So how can we use that concept that which you shared and apply it, like, you know, to go center?
Very beautiful, very beautiful. Compassion is not a thing. You cannot buy compassion in the supermarket.
No.
For sure, no?
Price to it.
We cannot buy peace in the supermarket. We cannot buy love in the supermarket.
No.
So all of these are values that need to be self-realized. So what does it mean self-realized? It's a very sort of convoluted word, but it means that you have to become compassion, not to talk about compassion.
Yeah.
But what is compassion? Compassion is not to give. Give is to give. I take this, give.
Yeah.
Compassion is an ability to become the other without losing your own identity. I repeat, is the ability. It's that you create that ability to become Jennifer. I need to become Jennifer, but without losing my identity of Alfredo.
Yeah.
In other words, when I see a poor person on the streets, one thing is to give. I take, give, and keep going. But if you want to have an act of compassion, you have to become poverty.
Yeah.
You have to be committed to eradicate poverty.
Yeah.
You have to be committed to his way of being. But I can be rich. I don't need to become poor to be compassionate. You know what I mean? This is a misguided concept of compassion.
Yeah.
So the same thing with love, the same thing with cooperation, with solidarity, with peace. You know, peace in the world, as Lama Ganchen taught me, you know, world peace is a function of inner peace. You cannot have world peace if you are not at peace with yourself. And peace is a state of being.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
So you have to self-realize it. It's not I talk about peace.
Yeah.
I have like 7 international peace awards myself, you know. And the first time I was given the award, I said to this great master, I said, but I have not done much for peace. Why do you give me this award? He said, because I'm giving you this award not because of what you have done, but what you will do in the future. This is many years ago. So he committed me to peace. So then the other awards more or less fit on, you know, one is doing that. But so we have world peace, inner peace. World peace, inner peace. But the way to inner peace, because you need to know some road to inner peace, because I can say it's inner peace, but how do I get there? Through healing. You have to heal yourself, you know, of anger, family, you know, boyfriend, husband, wife, neighborhood, politics. You have to heal yourself first. Otherwise, you cannot get to world peace. Healing, inner peace. Inner peace, world peace. But how do I heal? And there are many, but there are 2 things that are quick and fast to do it. First, silence. The power of silence. To be able to second, nature. If you heal nature, nature will heal you. And I have experiment with that with some people who come for healing. So I said, tomorrow you will plant 500 trees. He said, I have no desire for drugs. And this person was into all sort of drug treatments, never that. So when she came to my house, I was living in Portugal, I said, tomorrow you bring an overall because you're going to work, and bring your boots. She said, well, what do you mean? I said, no, come with clothing because you will be full of dirt at the end. One day with other people helping, like 500 trees, you know, planting, singing, you know? No more need for drugs. So I come back to what I said before, you cannot be healthy if nature is not healthy. So what happened with world peace if we destroy nature? No healing, no healing, no inner peace, no inner peace, no world peace. What is the approach today to world peace? It has 3 elements. Economic aid. You said, well, we're going to make this country grow. So North Korea, for example, the US might decide to give them $1,000 million a year for schools and so on. Second, the theory of balance of power of Henry Kissinger, to arm them to balance. So what is the philosophy of that approach, which is done everywhere, Iraq, Iran, and so on, is to say, if you have a pistol and I don't have a pistol, this is what they say, not me, don't confusion, I don't follow this path. The probability that they shoot me is very high. But if I have a pistol also, they say, the probability that you shoot me is very low because, you know, I have a weapon. So what have these developed countries done? To put weapons everywhere. You know? And the third is negotiation. Now, what are the limitations of this? And I don't believe in these approaches. And this is the approach of today. First, because you need to know what you're negotiating. And to know what you're negotiating, you must self-realize peace. So what the maximum you achieve is truth. Stop for a few days and then keep going, you know? And in this, my proposal for the Middle East is I want only women, Israeli women and Palestinian women to negotiate. And I can assure you in front of this camera that in 15 days there is no more war in the Middle East. Because feminine energy and women understand very well when the kid dies because of a bomb, you know, when they are hungry. So I am sure if we put women on each side of the table to negotiate, the probability for world peace is very, very high. Today, it's male energy guiding negotiation. I'm from the army, no, you know, give me more. This is a problem. What about weaponry? Ridiculous. The more you arm the world, the more you create conflict. You don't create peace by arming the world. And the crazy thing for us, who are not in the big structure of power, is that the US and Russia broke down on the nuclear agreement. So now, we don't know what arms race will take place. We have no clue. We have no clue. You understand what I'm saying? And the first one is a terrible inference. I'm giving you money, so you are more economically stable, and the theory says that you will not be with much tendency to go to conflict. I said this is stupid, because you are assuming that the poor is the violent one. You understand? When the wars are all financed by the rich countries. So this doesn't hold any water. So the only way out for the youth of the future is to understand that they must become peace themselves. You should stop. You should not tolerate the wars in the world. You should not tolerate nuclear weapons. You should not tolerate the destruction of the planet Earth, because it's self-destruction. My son tells me sometimes, he said, Dad, all this mess is your fault, it's your generation. I said, yes, but not me personally. But my generation, you know, I'm an environmental economist. I go and talk to my generation, bankers, very nice, come back in 30 years. What is left in 30 years? So, boundaries, Treaty of Westphalia, 1680. Power, boundaries. If you put the power on the boundaries, defend. But if you put the power at the center, you can enter. You know, I don't have any problem. I have identity. I have myself with capital S. So you need to go inward. The material world reach its limits in resolving material and spiritual problems. Example, many drunk people. How much medicine you're going to give them? You know, how much medicine you give to drug addicts? How many diseases of the mind are now in the world? How many suicides are in the world? So the material path reaches limits. It's not having cars. It's what type of car you want. You know, it's not having, you understand what I'm saying? It's not having food. So when I explain this cycle, first growth. Growth means how fast you accumulate wealth. It's like having a cake. How fast the cake grows. That's growth. Then people worry about development, socioeconomic development. That means we're not only worried about how fast the cake grows, but who eats the cake. It's a question of equity. Then we came after that and said, not only is important how fast the cake grows, who eats it, but how long it lasts. And so we came with environment, sustainable development, you know, all these global issues, the public commons and so on. And then I said, it's not enough. We are now there, and we have not even got there. I said it doesn't end there. Not only how fast the cake grows, who eats the cake, how long it lasts, but what are the ingredients of the cake? Because I can have a terrible way of eating, and it's no point. You can have a more. But so it means conscious development. That is the ultimate. It's not growth, it's not development, it's not sustainable development, it's conscious development. That is your path. That's what you have to do. You know, create consciousness, not create more material wealth. Of course, poor people needs more material things, clothing, food. I'm not talking about that. I'm not against that. But I'm talking about the way we see the world at large. It's not more cars. It's what type of transport we want. It's not more food. What type of food we need. So we pass from just quantity to quality. And this is a fourth element that the youth will have to take care. How we go from quantity more to quality. What is quality? How do you want to do it? So go in. Do it many times, even if you don't feel anything. Even if nothing happens. You fight with me. Wait. With time, it will be automatic. For me, it's automatic. You know, okay, I'm understanding. No, people say, fight.
That is, you know, it's the kind of conversations that we're having now. It just stirs so much within that I can't even find, you know, the right words to say to justify it.
Don't worry.
And so, you know, whatever you were sharing, the conversation that we're having, it's so true. You know, when I was much younger, I said, what is success to me? Success is when I have a big car, when I have a big house, yes? When I have this, when I have that. And all of those were all material things. None of those was how I feel about myself within. How is my relationship with my family, and not just my family, others at large, yes? How kind of a person am I? What good can I do? Like, you know, it wasn't that. And the thing is, we don't have such conversations today too much, I think, in the youth. Like, yes, we do care about the world. It's not that we don't. But we don't have these conversations that matter. You know, I think it's so important for us to ask these questions, ask difficult, important questions, and have the courage to try to find the answers. Like, you know, like what you shared, you said, even if it's hard to do at the beginning and, you know, you don't feel whatever when you close your eyes, at least to try. Yes, that's the first step. And I did. Before, I did not know what meditation was. I mean, I knew the words meditation, but I did not know what it means to me or what the experience would be. And when I first started, I would be like, well, you know, nothing has happened for me. Like, you know, why am I wasting my time? But then, you know, I think when I took the journey within, I found that courage to kind of, okay, like, you know, I think the consciousness that you spoke about, you kind of come to a state where you readily embrace, you know, the willing to try and to make an effort. And the inner peace that we talk about today, and compassion and consciousness, yes, a lot of times the use that, you know, like my friends, us, yes, the kind of conversations that we have is like, you know, where do we start? What is this, yes? Where do we start? And it's a big question, yet it's also a very simple question of where do we start? And I've asked that question several times in my lifetime, especially more so in the past few years. And sometimes it's on a daily basis even, like, where do I start? Because, you know, as human beings, we are imperfect and we're flawed and we tend to make mistakes. But at the same time, we do have compassion because we have a heart. And, you know, there will be times where when our heart overwhelms and empowers everything else that we know, you know, and that has happened. And I ask myself, where do I start? I'll be like, well, I start with right now, today. This is what I know. This is what I have. I am here, and this is what I can do for myself. And, you know, and I've started that meditation process and whatnot. So I have asked the question several times, And I would like to ask you,
Okay.
the rest of the youth as well, like, how can we start? Like, where do we start? Yeah.
We have a mind that has many errors of the intellect. One of the errors when one is very young is that time is limitless. You know, why should I be concerned about this? I'm very young, no problem. So the most interesting thing is that life at that age, it looks so strong. But at the same time, life is so fragile. And this is the balance, you know. This is the equilibrium that we need to have as the beginning process. You know, to have awareness that life is strong. I move, I fight, you assume that you are going to wake up tomorrow. You don't even think about it. There are 10 million people who die every day. You know, it's the normal thing in the planet. You woke up this morning. You should be happy.
Yes.
You are here. You are filming. You are dialoguing with some foreigner from Chile. You are expressing yourself. This is called gratitude.
Yeah, I feel gratitude. I do.
You know what I mean?
I do.
I call Chile, my family is there.
Yeah.
My mother is still alive, 94. You know, so that's, but what I want to emphasize to your inquiry is that you need to understand that life is also very fragile.
Yeah.
That is to say, you can go out of here and you're killed.
Yeah.
An accident, Jennifer gone, Ora gone. So what I really wonder about the youth that I come in contact with, and many all over the world, they only talk about their successes.
Yeah.
I go to a party with them, I listen to them, nobody talks about their failures.
Yeah.
It's not an imprint in your generation. It's like decaying. I can tell you one thing. I make a confession. I have very few successes. I have lots of failure. But what I learn is how to stand up from failure.
Yeah.
Not only that, to identify failure. Because many people sometimes identify success and it's a total failure. I say, okay, you have 2 cars. I say, total failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what do you mean? I
Yes,
say,
yes.
I have a lot of women. It's a failure. That means insecurity. I have a lot of men.
Yeah.
It's lack of self-confidence.
Yeah.
You know, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So this is the first thing we need to do, is to start the world thinking that we are not creators. We are creatures. When you become a creature, then the world makes sense. You don't fight, you don't kill, because I'm part of you, I'm part of the elephant, I'm part of the condor, the California condor, I'm part of the whales and so on. But most people are taught in education, we are great, we are fantastic, you deserve the best man in the world, and the rest is not worth it. And so you have these conditions that are created in your mind, and this is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Everyone can share love with you if you know what love is all about. And love is not a menu. Oh, I like the main course, but don't the dessert, not good. Then ciao, Jennifer. Ora, oh, she looks great, you know, but no, this is not the orange juice that I want to drink. Ciao. You know, and we live in this world that we are creators. I create love. No, you have to become love. And when you become love, then you understand your place.
Yeah.
It's the first thing. Second thing is that in order to really make this change, you need to live present time. Because you're fragile, because you're a creature, because you have gratitude to become creature. I love to be creature. Sometimes it's very difficult to be a creature for me. Because of leadership, exposure. I'm a creator. I'm not a creator. And people say now New Age language, New Age language, co-creator, co-conscious. I don't believe in that.
Right.
I think this is just words, But in essence, my presence is the one that needs to conduct the orchestra around me. No anger. If I'm angry, musicians don't play well.
Yeah.
So everyone will run away from me and so on. But if I'm happy, everyone around me happy. So you have to live present time.
Yeah.
And to live present time, you must self-realize concentration. If you are dispersed, power is dispersed. Ideas are dispersed.
Yeah.
Mind is dispersed. Heart is dispersed, and so on.
Yeah.
So a little bit sad to end this conversation, because we should be here days and days, but we will find mechanisms to do more, is to say to the youth, this world is yours. You have not only rights, you have responsibilities. You have to stand up and tell me what I'm saying wrong, what I'm doing wrong. But not only saying it, show me your cards. Show me your cards. The white rhinoceros ceased to exist 3 months ago, 4 months ago. There are no more white rhinoceros in the world. The large number of species that are being collapsed, what is it? Who collapsed them? It's not, they don't collapse by themselves. Industries, corporations, government, movement, What are we going to do with the Amazon in Brazil? What are we going to do with the oceans? I said in one book, global warming equals inner warming. Even if you do all these treaties that pollute less, if you are polluted, global warming will continue because of the many important law that says the outer is like the inner. The inner is like the outer. And if you don't understand that the inner is like the outer and the outer is like the inner, in essence, we are playing games that have no future. So I'm calling this new generation to stand up, to say, the world is mine. We are going to heal the planet. My job, in inverted commas, because I don't have jobs, my dharma is to heal the planet, and that's what I'm going to do, and I invite all of you to do it with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Namaste.
you so much, Dr. Alfredo. That was absolutely amazing. Yes, Jennifer, this has been phenomenal, and I want to share with all of you. Let's start today. Let's start being present. Let's start here. Let's look within ourselves, yes, and have our own journey from there to heal ourselves, to heal the world, and yes, let's share love and compassion. And with that, I'd also like to end with a gratitude message. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. I can't stress enough again. And thank you, all of you who are watching. I hope you learned something today. And please do comment and share this video and let us know what you thought about it.